You might have noticed a change in your neighborhood lately. Yep, Sprint stores are now T-Mobile stores. Now that Sprint is T-Mobile, you get more coverage, value, and benefits than ever before. We've invested billions to bring our 5G from big cities to small towns across America. And great coverage is just the start. From high-speed mobile hotspot data to weekly deals and giveaways, our customers get tons of great benefits. Head to your new T-Mobile store to learn more.
Qualifying service and capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
Welcome. Welcome to my dungeon.
Welcome to Cauldron's Crypt. I'm your host, Master Cauldron. If you're new to the show, I use my 25 years of BDSM experience and 20 years working in the psychology field to dispel myths, get rid of stereotypes, and answer your questions about BDSM. You can call in at 865-268-4005 to leave your questions or visit the crypt at cauldronscrypt.com. In this episode of the Crypt, Mayfair, the chat room, and I are going to talk about BDSM etiquette, dom-to-dom communication. This is going to be part one of a two-part series. We will continue this conversation next week, and we'll talk about that toward the end of the show, what all that will entail. So, hey, Mayfair.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good, you?
Well, I'm okay. I understand I'm having some technical difficulties, but I can't really do anything about it until my new equipment comes in. So, sorry for the buzz. All right. I actually stayed home from a party last night.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I had to have some me time, I guess. Spent a little bit of time with the wife yesterday while I did bunches and bunches of work, and so did she, and then spent a little bit of time with you after I did bunches and bunches of work in the shop. So, productive weekend for me.
I put a lot of hours in my new video game, so. But I also did some house chores. So yay.
Yeah. I got some wows. Oh, Buffalo Max saying hello, perverts. Gotcha. Okay, well, hello, chat room. Got a lot of people here, a bunch more coming in, I'm sure. So if you think that this is just for DOMs, you are wrong. A lot of this also will apply to submissives. And let's hit those rules to love by and jump straight into it. Rules to love by. Rule number 1, safe, sane, consensual, and informed. Rule number 2, that's kinky. K-N-K-I comes from the Kinky app, available on all platforms. Not a sponsor, but it does stand for knowledge, no intolerance, kindness, and integrity. And rule number 3, the quote from Mr. Paul Young, submission is not about authority and it's not about obedience. It is all about relationships, love, and respect. And those are brought to you by my woodworking business. We do kinky and vanilla functional works of art. Inclusionwoodworks.com. There is a link below in the description. So BDSM etiquette, Dom to Dom communication, part 1, season 3, episode 30. This is a topic that comes directly from a listener, and it is one that, in my experience, isn't really talked about outside of mentorships, really good dominant training classes, or after the fact when there has been an issue. So the listener who consented to us using the messages as an example and wishes to remain anonymous wrote, and Mayfair, why don't you play the part of our mystery dom here? This should be fun.
Says, I have a collared submissive that I allowed to play with a previous play partner. They were formerly DS primary play partners, but she was not collared and did not need permission to play with others. This is the first time they have played since I have collared my sub. It has been almost a year since they played. We've never met in person, only chatted in Kick. Our communication has been respectful, and the morning of the play date, I posted the rules to our group chat with the 3 of us. Then said, both of you have a wonderful time today. This is the last communication we have had. It has been 24 hours since they played. Now, my question to Cauldron and others. 1, What is the normal etiquette between DOMs in this scenario? 2, am I wrong for expecting some sort of thank you for allowing him to play with my submissive or something similar? I would definitely thank the Dom that allowed me to play with his sub. If you were the other Dom, would you have texted anything after the play date? 4, I was already going to send a thank you for taking care of my baby girl and following the rules. Should I send that now anyway? I'm open to any and all levels of advice, input, and or criticism.
Cool. All right. So for the sake of time, we're not going to read it all, but he went into some details about their negotiation and things that the two DOMs discussed regarding the rules and some of this stuff. So before I tell you how I responded, and Mayfair, this is why I had you wait, everybody remembers how much I love definitions. So I wanted to kind of get into the definitions of a few things. And that would be manners, protocol, and etiquette, and kind of hit on the differences between them. Now, I took these definitions from someone named Kim DeBron. If you've not heard of her, she has been writing since 2004. She's also been in what was a DS relationship that is now an MS relationship, but it is 24/7. Great blog posts. They were requested because she kept writing these little articles. And anyway, it was one of those, hey, would you please put this all in one place? So she's got a website. It's kimdebron.com. There is a link below for that. She's living in rural Australia. She also wrote 2 books. One of them is called Souls in Chains, and the other one, which is a sequel, is Broken Links. Souls in Chains come out in 2010, and then the sequel, Broken Links, come out in 2017. I have not read those. I am not endorsing them. So read at your own leisure and risk. But I do plan to. I'm going to check them out. So she says a lot of people in the DS lifestyle place great importance on manners, protocol, and etiquette, but at events and functions and also in more private situations. The dictionary defines manners as 1, ways of behaving with reference to polite standards, 2, a way of acting, bearing, or behaving, and number 3, the social correct way of acting. These are manners. Manners are really important no matter what lifestyle you lead. It is the basic common courtesy which most people learn as they grew up. Now, this is not going to be a long, this is not an article episode, so this is just a brief piece for the definitions. So if you don't like the articles, stick around, it's almost over. The please and thank you, not speaking with a mouthful of food, not interrupting a conversation, etc., all things that should apply in all situations. Protocols and etiquettes, though related to good manners, are really what many people associate with our lifestyle. And many seen people place great importance on both. So, what is a protocol? This is defined as a code of correct conduct. The system of rules and acceptable behavior used at official ceremonies and occasions. That is protocol, and it's when manners are made official. Etiquette is defined as Mayfair.
Etiquette is conventional requirements as to social behavior. The set of rules or customs which control acceptable behavior in particular social groups or social situations.
So, from these definitions, it's obvious that protocols are more widely recognized as being official behavior, whereas etiquette is predominantly social behavior. But the basic element is the same. They are about correct behaviors in certain situations. And I know a lot of people that have this FU attitude. I'm going to do and say and act the way that I want. If they're a D type, typically we just refer to them as an asshole or an abuser, one of the a-holes anyway. And if it's a sub or, the right side of the slash, we typically refer to him as a brat, but that would be a PETA brat, as we've talked about a little bit at some point, I believe, and also my friend Master Gear, the Reverend, went into great detail about on the Kinky AF podcast in his last episode, which I highly recommend everyone checking that out, especially if you have difficulty with brats, even if you're not in a relationship with them or if you are a brat, because there's important things that you need to know about yourself in that episode and your behaviors. So anyway, so with these things in mind, with protocol etiquette and manners in mind, these are things, think about that with my response to the situation. So, number one, it sounds like you followed proper protocol as far as etiquette, and keeping in mind, I don't know the time frame from start to finish. I would give a little longer notice on rules, because I thought that he had possibly dropped the rules that morning of their play, which was absolutely not the case. And, I wasn't sure. Knowing the person that sent me this, I was fairly certain that wasn't the case, but there was still some uncertainty. Number two, which the question was, am I wrong for expecting some sort of thank you for allowing him to play with my submissive or something similar to a thank you? I would definitely thank the Dom that allowed me to play with his sub. My response is no, you are not wrong. However, some people are void of social common courtesies.
It's not so common anymore, just like common sense.
Yeah, that's very true. We do live in a me first society. I think people are at their truest form when they're driving, and
I'm a
yeah,
very angry person when I'm driving.
see, it fits. You just don't let it out.
I would cuss someone out quicker than anything when I'm driving.
All right, number three. And sorry, we're off to a little strange start today, but if you were the other Dom, would you have texted anything after the play date? Well, yes. I would have thanked you, assuring you all the rules were followed, or admitted to any way that I messed up, and stated intentions of whether or not further play would be requested. Plain and simple. And yeah, and Mayfair, if you have any comments to these, please feel free. Number four, I was already going to send a thank you to him for taking care of my baby girl and following the rules. Should I send that now anyway? To which I respond with, if you did not add a post-scene conversation between you and him in the rules, you can't hold him to that standard. However, I would send a message saying something to the effect of, I didn't have this in the rules because I didn't realize it needed to be, but I am disappointed you haven't reached back out to say thank you. Give me an update for how things went on your side, or state intentions of future play. Also, I would wait until it has been 48 hours and make it clear to my sub that she is not to say anything to him about it, that he either needs to come to the understanding naturally or receive that message from me at the 48-hour mark. But that's just my 2 cents. So, Mayfair, what do you think about how I would have handled that? Does that, and this is not a place for you, and I'm more saying this for the benefit of you, the listener, but this is not a place where Mayfair is my submissive. She is my co-host. She is not sitting here to be a yes person. I got some questions about that. These are off collar times, and her own opinion is absolutely valued, and she's not to just be a mirror of myself. And there have been times where we have had different perspectives on things. So, and I bring that up because that was something that was said twice in the surveys that I'm doing for the podcast. If you would like to take part in that, it takes 5 or 10 minutes to go through the survey. That's at cauldronscrypt.com/podcast survey. One word, no spaces, podcast survey. And at the end of February, we're going to give away 2 $25 Amazon gift cards to random people that, or to 2 random people that have filled out the survey. So that's, again, cauldronscrypt.com/podcast survey. But anyway, Mayfair, what are your thoughts?
So I have like a follow-up question, I guess, before I can really have a thought.
Sure.
So does he have no idea how the play went? Like, did he get an update from his submissive at least?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Like, the way I first read through it is it's been 24 hours and he ain't heard from nobody. I was like, no.
Yeah, actually, I did the same thing the first time. I was like, wait, what?
No.
What? Did they run off and elope or what?
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if, and this is from I'm not I'm nowhere on the other side of the slash really. But if you've got an update from me, why do you need an update from him? I've told you what's happened.
From his perspective,
I don't know.
like I could hear it. I could hear it from you, and that's fine. Yeah, I believe you. But there's 2 sides to every story as well. And so hearing it from, especially if you have come back and told me that, yes, there was something that was in the rules that was broken.
Yes, if something like crossed a line or something, especially, yes. But I mean, if it was just a good, fun time and we came back, I came home to you and all was right. I don't know that. I think I would be weirded out if you were upset with them. Like, well,
so what if,
now if they had, done something inappropriate, maybe.
well, what if, say, I don't know, Odie and his girl took Jack your cat Jack for an overnight stay, and Jack comes back meow 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 all happy, and so you're hearing the story. You don't see any obvious signs of abuse. Everything seems copacetic, but wouldn't you still want to hear from the people who were in charge of your cat to make sure that everything according to them went okay?
Yes, but that's because my cat can't tell me. I mean, I pretend I can understand what he means, but
Or if you had a child, if the child comes back and says that everything's, yeah, it was a fun sleepover. Yeah, but what do their parents say?
Well, see, I think
that's why parents are friends with their kids' parents, is so they can get those updates.
But that is putting it in and this is just from my side. I don't, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful if this is coming across that way, but you make friends with your kids' parents because kids are going to lie. That's just what kids do.
Yeah.
If you can't trust that I told you that everything that happened and everything was good, then we have a problem. That's how I see it.
And I don't disagree with that.
But
however,
I can see hey, I screwed up. I wanted you to know, I got caught up in the moment, and maybe like grabbing her breasts was out of the rules. And I just got this primal urge, and I just grabbed and squeezed and bruised them.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized what I was doing, I stopped. Then yes, I think that would absolutely be something that the Dom should speak out to. But I don't know.
Well, what about just the common courtesy of saying thank you? I mean, you played with my favorite toy. Why are you not getting in touch with me to thank me for that?
That is a little weird, but I probably would have said that like from the beginning. Hey, thanks for letting her come over tonight.
Well, in the beginning that's
Like the day of the play date, not necessarily after, but like that final last conversation. I think I would have thrown that in there, but I don't think it's as long as there was a thank you. But I don't see a thank you has been in here.
interesting. Well, in our world, it is protocol. It is etiquette. It's just simply good manners. I mean, if you borrowed a lawnmower from somebody, when you go to pick it up or when they drop it off, you're going to thank them for doing that. And then when you take it back or they come and pick it up, you're going to thank them again for doing that for you, for allowing you to borrow it, right? I mean, that's the way the world works. That's what people do. Just out of courtesy and out of pure gratitude of a gracious heart, you're going to thank somebody.
I think for me, the issue here is the onlineness. It would be weird for me to expect a thank you on the internet, but I don't do most of my communications on the internet.
Yeah.
Now, if you saw me,
about that too, about the internet BDSM, but
if if say I went out with, I'm gonna say Joe. I don't know a Joe, but and Joe brought me back to you, then yes, he should thank you then. But
I don't think that disconnect matters.
it probably doesn't, but that's where it's disconnecting in my head. And I think the chat room agrees with you if you look over there.
I'm avoiding, no offense, chat room. Mayfair, if there's anything that comes up in there that needs to come out, please do share if there's any comments.
Let's see.
I'm having trouble focusing today, so that's why I'm not looking at the chat until the end, till we get to the end here.
Let me go through a couple. Says let's see. Lilac Wine at 320. She said there are two sides to the slash and thus two perspectives. Also, hearing it from him will give you an indication of who he is as a dom, or if there's any discrepancies in the details. Just call me Ash said I would want to know that my sub also acted appropriately with another dom. KJ says if there was formality prior, then it is assumed formality post play.
Yeah. I'm putting this up when I did happen to see this name because I was Master Gabriel planning to get in touch with you today or this week about coming on the show next week for part 2 of this conversation. For 2 reasons. 1, I love your opinions, and 2, everybody else wants you back. So you were also talked about in those surveys that we did at goldscript.com/podcast survey. But Aftermath is there to cover everything from who cleans up after to what. If any calls need to be made a day or so after, that's where there's little room for misinterpretation and reminder, or that way there's little room for misinterpretation and reminders. Yes, which is where I had pointed out in the message or in my response first. where I said that, if you did not add a post-scene conversation between you and him in the rules, you can't hold him to that standard. However, I would send a message saying thanks for the effort, because I didn't realize that it needed to be like, and that shows the type of person that I am. I mean, our house motto, respect above all else, says that I'm going to do my now that doesn't, because it's our house motto also. Let me say this, because this just came up. I'm full of piss and vinegar today. Because of what our house motto is, people think that I think that makes me perfect or our house perfect. And no, that motto is our goal. It is what we strive for. It in no way is a statement of perfection. I'm human. I make mistakes, a lot of them. And I freely admit those here on the podcast regularly. How could anyone think that I think I'm perfect? So anyway, but yeah, no, because I try my best to live by that motto and have manners and protocol, then I would, I may not realize, if I was new, like the person that sent this is newer, I may not realize that needed to be part of the negotiation between the other dominant and myself. So anyway, Mayfair.
So Shadowy Fox says hearing from him covers a lot of bases. For me, it tells me what was in his mind. Hearing from a partner tells me what they know firsthand, but my partner can't read the mind of their part.
Yeah. And that was part of what I would want to know, is how it went from their perspective. Scenes, it's not just two different points of views, or every story has multiple sides. It's that, have you ever been in a scene that you thought was absolutely wonderful and the other person thought that it went really bad or it wasn't that great, or just the opposite? You were in a scene and you were like, that just, maybe I was off, maybe they were off, maybe we just don't mesh, whatever, but that didn't go well for whatever reason. But yet they thought it was amazing. My wife and I used to have a friend. Well, we still have a friend. We just hardly ever talk. That thinks he's the most amazing bartender in the world. And every drink that I've had from him tastes exactly the same. And it would be the equivalent of mixing Raid, roach spray, and Windex. I mean, it's so there are definitely different perspectives for the same event.
That's true.
Yeah.
Buffalo Max said if she was in subspace, how would she be able to fully express what happened? Would she even be able to?
Who said that?
Buffalo Max.
Oh, our little hipster's growing all up.
Lacey said that she thinks I'm going more from a poly mindset and you're going more from the dom mindset. Unless negotiated, it's not required, but a dom has a mindset, a certain expectations, because you hold yourself to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Wait, who was that again?
Lacey.
Oh, okay. What's the timestamp on that? I want to put that one up there.
I rolled away.
Oh, okay.
3:22.
It's almost that. Let's see. I think Mayfair is being more poly-minded and Coulter more dom-minded. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think the concept of me being shared is still one of the things that we've never really ironed out where either one of us really are on it. I think we both kind of just we talk about it, and I'm just not at a place where I want to even branch it. So
Mhm.
this is a hard one for me to really have a true like. I'm going off some of the issues and concerns I have about being shared, so I may not be the best co-host for today. I don't know. I definitely have a different opinion, I guess. People were wanting the back and forth, so you get your
Mhm.
back and forth today.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Um, yeah, she's right. Well, but if since we're talking about BDSM here and dom sub relationships, then that's all I'd have to say really on this one, Lacey. Is that yes, of course I'm dom minded because we're talking about dom sub relationships and another dominant borrowing my toy. Um, yeah, if it's a poly relationship, then that's just poly is different than the sub dom. Ooh, some people just cringe because I said sub dom instead of dom sub. That was intentional. Um,
KJ, down here just below that at 323, says especially since this was a reconnection with a previous partner, absolutely there should have been communication after the fact.
oh, I like that. Yeah. And especially because, I mean, lies of omission are still lies. Just because you don't tell me, uh, doesn't mean that you're not lying to me. In fact, it's just the opposite. If you don't tell me information, then you are lying. And that happens out of protection. What if he did do something that, yeah, he broke the rule, but I agreed to it during the scene.
That's
And
mm,
so, there's no point in bringing that up. I mean, I don't know. That's just
I can tell you growing up, lying by omission was the thing I got in trouble for most.
oh, yeah. I actually forgot that when I said that.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I
Lacey agrees. Good point.
I yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I got in trouble. I got grounded for. I got suspension. I got after school detention one day, and I'd been doing yearbook for the past like 2 months, and suspension was the same day as yearbook. So I just told my mom, I was like, "Hey, I need you to pick me up at 4 again today instead of you know riding the bus home." And it took her almost the entire time, but she remembered right there at the end that I had said yearbook was over 2 weeks ago. Hmm. She came in and got me.
Oh, I know that wasn't a fun day around your house.
No.
Gabriel says, but there are so many more people in the scene these days, and many never even hear about such protocol until they've already stepped on that landmine. We can't assume everyone knows these things. Yes, I agree with that. And it's a damn shame that we can't assume that everybody knows good manners. You borrow something from somebody, you thank them for loaning it to you when it's returned. Yeah, you can tell I'm passionate about this. And it's mainly because of the state of the world. It's just, it's never been so obvious that the world needs a freaking enema. All the shit just needs to be flushed away and sent out into space in body bags. Um, no, Cauldron, stop holding back. Tell me how you really feel. Johnny Farrell says, look, if I loan you a tool, i.e., a special socket or wrench, for a particular car, I expect a thank you, not just dropping it off on my porch. Yes, that's a man that understands.
I get that. I get it.
Yeah. But no, it really does come back to that conversation, though, as Gabriel and several others have pointed out, and as I pointed out in my initial response back to the original sender of this, was that, you know what, that really should have been something that was talked about beforehand as part of the rules. Like, this is an expectation. If I allow this to happen, and make no mistake, she is mine. I am allowing this to happen because she has given me that control.
I think Lacey makes a good point. 337 this time. Regardless as to whether or not it was intentional, it would lessen my respect and trust for him to not thank me afterwards.
Amen, sister. Odie says, yes, all the body bags. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh, God. Fox. Coulter, do not make me cackle like that over intimate jokes. Oh, the body experience. Hello, Lady Katie.
And Vega. They actually popped in earlier, said both of them are there today.
Oh, hey, Lady Katie and Vega. I think this is their normal recording day. So, if you have not checked out the bonding experience, BDSM 101 through Femdom Eyes, and if you're a dominant male, that doesn't exclude you from watching their channel. They talk about some good stuff. They certainly share some opinions that are different than mine. And I love watching them. I mean, yes, they're friends of mine, which normally means I wouldn't like to watch them. But in this case, they're really awesome. So check them out. That's right here on YouTube, the bonding experience, BDSM through BDSM 101 through Femdom Eyes. And they've gotten into some more than just 101 conversations. So yeah, check them out. But they say Johnny Farrell, perfect analogy, and I absolutely agree. MK's toy says, and this is not my toy, just coincidence. As a sub, if the person I played with didn't thank my dom, I would never be played with by them again. I think respect and communication is key. Yeah. Oh, I love you too. So, all right. With the understanding that there are so many new people on the scene, a little humility wouldn't hurt the general mood. People are quick take on titles that they may not have earned. I don't know if you're telling me to lighten up, which KJ, you've earned the right to tell me that. So I don't take that as disrespectful at all. But Mayfair, what do you think? What do you think that means by that comment?
I'm not sure. I was assuming she meant about the other dom.
Oh, okay.
Not responding. It seems because it seems like everyone was in consensus that the other dom should have said, "Hey, thanks." If nothing else, at least some kind of acknowledgement to the dom after the scene.
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe that guy is newer than.
Let me interrupt just a second. Gabriel says he's got to head out, but looking forward to chatting about part 2. Yeah, and if you can't make it next week, we can skip a Sunday or something and just come back to it, whichever. I just really would like you to join me on this one if you get a chance. So just let me know. Shoot me a message or something, or I'll shoot you one. So, all right. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Mayfair.
I finished. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And she said it was not directed at you. So
yeah. All right. Well, see, like I said, I'm getting very distracted today, which is why I wasn't looking at the chat. And then I looked at the chat and I'm like, oh crap, we're running out of time real quick here. I mean, a lot of good conversation, a lot of great comments, and it's a mixed bag in the chat room. Like, yes, most of them agree with what I'm saying, but there's still some they're like, nah, it don't matter.
Upstate SC couple. That seems like a good comment there.
Okay. Why should a Dom not clarify up front what his expectations are? Many Doms tell their subs to respectfully ask for what they need. This goes both ways. Ooh. Yeah, you're right. But when you're new, you don't, I mean, hell, I'm certainly not new, but I'm still screwing up all the time. So, but no, absolutely. And that's one of those things that gets taught in one of those Dom training classes. Lady Katie of the Bonding Experience, BDSM through Femdom Eyes, BDSM 101 through Femdom Eyes. I keep wanting to leave out the 101. Don't know why. It's even in my title. But no, she's got a submissives training weekend that I've heard from people is absolutely amazing. The Acquiescent Academy, I believe is the name of that. And there's a lot of Dom training around in little bits and pieces, unless you get into large cities, and then you can, or go to private people that costs a lot of money. I know Master Arcane, that wrote of the Crow Academy that wrote Igniting the Fire. He trains couples. So he and his slave will take a one-on-one or a group of couples and run them through a training course on, high protocol, high etiquette relationships. So, but that is something I've been putting together for a long time, is trying to get a Dom school put together. And when Lady Katie started her submissives weekend, that was like, oh, yeah, I've been meaning to do that, only on the opposite side there for quite a while. So anyway, it's going to happen, along with the book that is coming out, hopefully the end of this year. All right. So he liked to go back to our story. He liked the advice, and he adjusted what I said that I would send to the other Dom, to fit the time frame that he was comfortable with and their specifics, from their conversation, and of course his own words. And then he sent it to me with the reply from the other Dom, and all with great success in communication. So there was a mutual respect found, an apology made for not getting back. And I believe the time frame was set to, instead of 48 hours, like 72 hours, because of the person being so busy. But I mean, in all reality, to send me an email or a message or something takes less than a minute. Even if it's just to say, thank you, everything went well, tied up at work, I'll respond properly within a day or 2 days or this weekend, whatever. But that that almost immediate thing of okay, she's on her way back, or it's the next morning, whatever, things went great. I don't know. But again, I was raised old school. I mean, I'm the youngest of 5, and my parents were in their mid and late 30s when I was born. So Things are a little different. So next, Mayfair,
Yes, sir.
any thoughts? Anything else come up in the chat?
The bonding experience said, I think protocols are becoming a lost art to be practiced. New generation brings new ideas and new protocols, quote unquote. In parentheses, she says, which I'm not a fan of very much.
That's because every new person that comes out thinks that they're a brat. You know, that's what's cool. That's what TikTok says. Brats rule, doms drool.
I think you missed the whole point if that's your theory.
What?
I said, I think you missed the whole point of a DS if that's how you see it.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me like I missed the whole point if that's my theory on
No.
what
Sorry.
happened.
No. If you're
It's
saying
like,
your
what
Dom
the
Joel,
hell?
no.
Yeah, no. I mean that's the way it goes, and I agree with that. Obviously, I'm going to because I'm old school like that. But my attachment to that old school way of thinking is because I was raised with manners. I was raised to put the needs of others ahead of my needs in most situations, and that's just not done today. You know, my generation, unfortunately, raised their kids to believe that everybody gets a trophy.
Not all of them. I'm from that generation, and I never got a participation trophy. I've earned everything I got.
It's because you never even signed up to play.
You know what? We were broke. We didn't have the money for me to sign up.
Oh, but no, I mean, and everyone will be happy to know if you haven't heard, there was an executive order signed talking about just getting a trophy. An executive, and I'm not going political. I am, but just for like 2 seconds to make my point is that there was an executive order signed stating that you can now receive unemployment benefits if you just refuse to work.
That's crap.
Because of the pandemic. Yeah, I believe that was signed on day. It was either the 1, 2, or 3. I don't recall, but I'm thinking it was the second day. But yeah, you can receive full unemployment benefits. You are now allowed to refuse to work because of the pandemic. And so, yes, Art Kitten, really, I'm not kidding. So, all right. So next week, now I know we kind of focused. I said this is Dom to Dom communication part 1, and this is building for all of those in general. I wanted to get the conversation started with this because this is what started the conversation between me and a lot of other people. Because it brings up a lot of things. And next week, if Master Gabriel can assist us next week, we'll do it then. If not, we'll do it the week after if he's available then. And if he's not going to be available either of those 2 weekends, then we'll probably just go ahead and do it without him. I'll find somebody else. He's out, you're in.
It may be I'm out, he's in.
But yeah, no. So we will dive into detail about general protocol and etiquette. Like, I'm new and this is my first time at a party or a dungeon. Do I introduce myself using a title? Do I call others by their title? What is the protocol for talking to a collared sub or slave that isn't yours? How do I ask another dom, master, owner, handler, or tamer to play with their charge? I mean, these are general protocol things that vary person to person and city to city. So that's another reason. I mean, you've got us here in Podunk, Tennessee, while I'm traveled and whatnot, and cut my teeth in a large city. Master Gabriel is from across the U.S. in Los Angeles, California, and we'll have a completely different yet similar take on a lot of the protocols. So that's why I wanted to wait until I could get him to talk about some of these more in-depth and generalized protocols. In-depth and generalized. You like that? See what I did there? Went both ways. I'm a swinger. All right. So full show notes found at coldernscript.com/330. Don't forget to fill out that survey, coldernscript.com/podcast survey. All my contact information's down below. I've got a few people to thank. And then Mayfair and I are going to do two things. First, we're going to give our final thoughts on this week's episode. And then we're going to go into the aftercare portion of the show, which does not come through in the audio only version of the podcast. So, to thank some people, pro producer, Buffalo Max 92, executive producers, Shadowy Fox, Unicorn's Angel, Johnny Farrell, Haru and Way Reb, Slave Brendan, and Just Call Me Ash. Senior producers, Emerald Wolf, and Emerald Wolf, I missed her birthday a couple of weeks ago. I am sorry about that. I tried to get all of the patron information automatically sent into my calendar for birthdays, and it didn't get fixed. I don't know, technology, whatever. I'm usually good at it, but this app sucks apparently. So I completely missed her birthday, and I am so sorry for that. But happy birthday, and I hope it was a great day for you, a great weekend. She is the admin and the first person that you talk to when you come into the Discord group if you donate on Patreon at a minimum of $5 a month. So that is our little community that's grown and grown. I think there's like 60 people in there now. So anyway, so our senior producers, again, Emerald Wolf, Roxy Bear, Trouble 113, Alexandria, that place in Oklahoma City. Thank you, Mater. Baby Love and Sir, Sort Out the Kinks, Master Gabriel, Daddy Steve, Serpent, Twisted Tink, and Just Tommy. Art Kitten, Author Mistress Black Rose, Upstate SC Couple, Crystal Force, Lily Chaos, CJ, Callie, Perfectly Thick, Thorn, Toradon, and Captain J. Producers, Kane Sin, KJ, Civil Disobedience, Adia, Sir and Kitten, Raven, Raider 69 Time, Otsia, PWB, MBR Poodle, Lilac Wine from Australia, Bad Dog Bad, Cozy Cow, Arctic Foxglove, Little Red Rose, Anomalous Mats, Miss Red Sin, and AJRJ, Catnip Meow, Wild Time, and Deacon Sean, Cherry Query, Rope Stuff 2, Rabbit, Burning Red Hot, Sir Wolf Archangel, Sub 13, Quartz Dom, Anthony, Bound Hydrangea, who shout out also has a YouTube channel where she puts out videos. I believe she's doing them once a week now. She's young, but she's been around for a while. And she gives that TNG kind of education, and she's beyond her years. I like her stuff. Gator and Gizmo. Junior producers, K2SO, Jeremiah, Morgana 13, Brody, and the Gab and Girl Time podcast. Check them out. They've been on the show before. And Milky MILF. Wow, I'm going to have to start breaking those up a lot throughout the show. But I'm very grateful. So I always want to make sure everybody gets named. Become a show producer. colderscript.com/Patreon. Vendors we know, like, trust, and use. I am going to pick today Tink's Toys. Their link to their Facebook group and FetLife profile is down below. There's a coupon code, which is Tinks Toys 13, and that'll get you 13% off your first purchase. And Dark Delight Shop, who is my newest trusted vendor, and I only have 7 trusted vendors. I did a product review on them. They do like pins and stuff, so check them out. Tinks Toys does paddles and some braided paracord top whips and stuff like that. I love them to death. So I know them personally. Really, really awesome. But yeah, check out that Dark Delights video as well too. It's pretty good stuff there. All right, all of our contact information is down below in the show notes. Good Lord, this is the longest I've ever taken to close out a show. Mayfair, what's our final thoughts?
Communicate, communicate, communicate.
Oh my God. Then part 3 is going to be Dom to Dom. Well, I've been trying to get y'all on the show for a long time. I guess ever since y'all started your YouTube channel. So, take responsibility for not saying when. I told you, just let me know. Just like women expect me. You're so used to your little sub boys doing all the work for you. You want on my show. Love you guys. All right. So my final thought to mimic or echo back what Mayfair just said: communication, 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 and communication. And as just Tommy pointed out, that's quite a few drinks just there. And Odie, if you show up to our dinner drunk, I'm going to have a fit. So. Oh, the bonding experience just is jerk because I called them out for not scheduling their time on the show with me. Smoochy boochies. I'm not one of your sub boys. After show questions. Oh, cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We'll head into some aftercare. I can't believe we're actually doing this on time. This has been Master Cauldron and
Mayfair.
For cauldronscript.com. Unearth the truth. Yeah, we're back. Anyone else here still wondering about the Raid and Windex? About how it tastes? Oh, it's terrible.
They want to know why you know what Raid and or Windex tastes like.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, so that's actually an easy thing. Wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place at the right time, which was actually the wrong time. So I'm cleaning the windows. It's like summertime. Picture it. North Georgia, 1992. No, probably before that. 1990. So I'm cleaning windows around the kitchen, outside. And our house was wood siding. And so somebody's spraying Raid, my brother, up to kill a bunch of wood boars that were trying to, chew at 90% of our house. And gust of wind, I'm at the wrong direction. The wind comes in, and I literally get a mouthful of bug spray and Windex at the same time. So that was not just me like saying, oh, it tastes like that stuff. No, it actually tasted just like that stuff. So, yeah, I'm being quite literal today. I apologize.
Vegas says, but you want to be.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Now, Vega, just because I told you when I was half drunk that you might happen to be the only woman whose boot I would ever kiss, you have to know that that was a lie. You know, my wife's boot would come first. And that's not happened in 19 years. It's never going to happen.
I think most of us, though, who know both of you wouldn't mind to see some just full on primal Dom on Dom there.
Between me and the wife or me and Vega?
Well, they would probably all say, pick one. I've already seen you and the wife, so I'm saying Vega.
Yeah, I know. Well, she's a little reserved for me, though. I stick my tongue out at thee, Vega. Nah, anyway.
I mean, Lady Katie, too. Either way. It'd be
After show
fun.
question. Oh, that was the after show question. I saw after show question about the Raiden Windex. I knew you wouldn't say it if you didn't know how it tasted. Oh, yeah. All right. So, yeah, next week, I can't wait, or whenever it happens, if Gabriel comes on, whatever, to talk about that. There was something the bonding experience. I've recently pissed a lot of people off, apparently, with my take on the secretary, and I started not to bring this up. In fact, I just got a notification that Evie Lupine just put out a video about it, which I'm going to watch as soon as I get off of here at 4:30 about that movie. Excuse me. But so I'm not going to do an episode on the bonding experience season 2. I have watched it all. I binged it. Yeah, I think the episodes are only like 20 minutes long, and there's only 6 or 8 of them, maybe 10. I don't know. But I pretty much watched it all in as quick as you can, because I started it and then it was over, and then my wife was finished with her evening class, and I was like, oh, it's done and you're done, and I want more of this. And I want us to watch it together. It was good. In the first 10 minutes, they fixed everything that they screwed up in the first season at the cost of some of the comedy. And it turned more, that weird spot in a romantic comedy where it starts to get serious, but it's not quite serious yet, but yet the funny still isn't there either. That's kind of the way the whole season went. Now, I really liked it. Don't get me wrong. I really liked it. It definitely had its funny moments, but it was not. Yeah.
You're talking about the Netflix series, not Lady Katie and Vega's podcast.
Bonding. Yes, bonding.
Okay. That's their name as well. I was very confused for a moment.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm talking about the new Netflix. Well, theirs is the Bonding Experience. This is just Bonding. The Netflix show, season 2. Yeah, it was good, but they brought in a technical advisor that they didn't have for the first season, a new technical advisor that's also a writer on the show. And with the addition of a single character, they corrected all the consent and communication issues of they corrected all of the consent issues in the first 10 minutes. They still had some of the, Mistress Mira. They still had some of the communication issues between the two main characters. And that show is written, when it first came out, I thought that it was written on the part of the mistress, but apparently it's written on Master Carter's side. So the person that character is about is the person who is a real person. So, but anyway, I just want to give a brief synopsis about that, even though I'm not going to do a full episode. A lot of you were asking my opinion about it, so there's my opinion. Most of them fighting, and I was bummed. Yeah, it was a lot of the two, but I mean, they had to get to that, and this season, in order to correct the mistakes that were made from a cinematic perspective, I believe that this season had to be less funny to pay homage to their screw ups in the first season. Yes, there will be a season 3. This season was in preparation. I think season 3 is going to be funnier than season 1. It's already, it's already in the works as far as writing and things like that go. And I'm trying to get somebody from that show to come on our show. Also, it's a huge ask. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's out there in the ether, and hopefully we can get a guest, a famous guest on, other than Mayfair.
I'm not famous.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them there in the chat. Yeah, you don't know until you ask. Absolutely. I'm still trying to get Jared Leto to get me an invite to his dungeon in Los Angeles.
We could just have him on the show. I mean, let's start small. Just have him come talk.
What's this we stuff? You know, you wouldn't say a word if he was on here.
I might if it were here. It's not in person. So start here, and then maybe, if we ever do get invited out there, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not, but.
Do we need to start sending letters? Not yet. I mean, to Jared Leto, yeah, you can start tagging him on Twitter and asking him if he's going to be on this podcast. Yeah, I tell you, if like 650 of you did that, and by the way, if you tag somebody on Twitter, if you don't put a word before you put their tag, then it doesn't actually show up to them. They don't get notifications, especially if they're verified. So if you don't say like, "Hey, at Jared Leto, why don't you blah blah blah?" then it doesn't go through to them. So let's see. As far as bonding, yeah, I may actually do a shout out to you guys when it comes time for that, to try to get, because if there was like I said, 300, 600 people all in one day, they're going to notice it, because they're either going to look at it as spam and try to find out who's attacking their Twitter handle, or and it's going to lead back to us, or they're going to notice one way or another if there's that many people in one day hitting it for the same thing, the same hashtag. So Johnny says, I think it worked out well because it let the vanillas to get hooked before getting to technical, so to speak. Yeah, but there's an article that somebody sent me, and I apologize, I don't remember who it was, probably Baby Love, that talks about all of the feedback that they got from the BDSM community and how upset people were because of the communication and consent issues in the first season. And that is why they chose to bring on a technical advisor and new writer for the show that brought in Mistress Mira. So I thought that was really, really awesome of them, that they want to get it right. And I, for one, am grateful. Buffalo Max, our pro producer, says have to get back to the grind. Well, have fun with that. Go chop up that marijuana. Blushes, I don't. How can you, with a name like Otsila, which would be a perfect Twitter handle, why don't you have Twitter? Slacker. All right. Well, apparently there's not really any questions coming out of the chat. So, and I don't have anything else to talk about. So I guess I can get to that Evie Lupine video a little bit earlier and see what she has to say about Secretary. Coming from a little bit younger of a generation, I really want to see what she had to say. And also, I find it funny that we just did that episode a little while back, and now she did it. Seems weird to me, but I don't know. I'll see. Maybe I get a mention in there. Who knows? So, never had one, but who has Twitter these days? A lot of more. There's more people on Twitter than there are on Facebook nowadays.
Apparently, Reddit is where we all needed to be.
Why is that?
The GameStop thing.
What? Oh, I heard somebody say something about that. What's up there?
So basically, some of the high-end Wall Street people were trying to shut down GameStop through the stock market, and Reddit people called other people to arms, and they used the Robinhood app, and they bought up a whole bunch of stocks, and now the stock's over $320 a pop now. It was cents on the dollar, and so they saved GameStop.
Wow. If I knew it was cents on the dollar, then I would have bought up some of it just for fun.
I fussed at my sister's boyfriend. He's the only one I know who's on Reddit all the time. I was like, why didn't you let us know?
Yeah, no kidding.
People have made millions off of it. It's crazy.
Oh, I've been wondering about that too. Oh, the GameStop thing. You have no social media other than FET. Well, I'm jealous. I wish FET was my only social media, and most of the time I don't even want to look at it. All right. Well, I gave last call for questions or comments. And again, I really didn't have anything prepped for the post show other than to talk about briefly the bonding experience. And not many people are diving into that conversation. In fact, several people, a third of our audience has jumped out. So it's a short squeeze. It actually has no real bearing on GameStop itself. Yeah.
I just know regular people made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous.
Hug the ketchup packet. I'm not quite sure what. How do you say some of the weirdest things that I just don't understand over message, but in person you make usually perfect sense? What is hugging the ketchup packet, or do I even want to know? Mayfair, your thoughts?
I got nothing.
I mean, he says, I know. He sends me these texts and messages and whatever with like 3 words that just people would never put together. I'm like, okay, are you drunk? Have you had some kind of psychotic break? Or like, are you just screwing with me? Like, what? He's his own breed. Yep. Oh, sort. You made it. But I got you laughing, he says. Oh, yeah, you always do. All right. Well, looks like we're back to our dinner tonight. We hadn't been to dinner in a few weeks. So I guess I'll see you about 5:30 for dinner. Mayfair.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Odie. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Well, them too, because he's medically approved now, and she was never positive, so they're going to join us. All right. Well, that's a wrap on this one. I will catch all of y'all next week, right here, same bat time, same bat channel. Oh, they've got a copyright on that. I can't say that. Oopsie. Say goodbye, Mayfair.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. You didn't say bye, Mayfair.